As the first light reaches the summit of Kilimanjaro, a land forged by fire, stone, and time begins to awaken beneath an ancient sky. Lions stand watch over the Ngorongoro Crater like ancient sentinels, their presence silent but absolute, guardians of a realm where strength is law and weakness carries a cost. Rain returns to the land, and the Serengeti breathes green once more, but renewal here is never gentle, and abundance is fleeting. Grazing animals move without pause in search of sustenance, driven by hunger and necessity, while unseen eyes track every step from the safety of the shade. In this landscape, every movement is calculated, every decision measured against survival itself. Welcome to Tanzania, where life persists on a fragile edge, and each day unfolds as a relentless struggle in the land of predators. The most profound story of Tanzania begins on the endless savanna, where the Serengeti stretches to the horizon like an unbroken green sea, and the ancient struggle for survival plays out among the largest animals ever to walk the earth. This is a land shaped by scale and time. 22 national parks, from the legendary Serengeti to the wild heart of Ruaha and the river-cut plains of Tarangire, each one a living canvas of untamed nature. Here, more than 430 species of mammals coexist. In a country many times smaller than the United States, nearly the same number of mammal species thrives, an extraordinary concentration of life found in few places on Earth. Across arid savannas, wetlands, and dense tropical forests, over 330 species of reptiles endure, silent witnesses to an ecosystem built on resilience. Above it all, the skies come alive. More than 1,100 species of birds take flight, including 11 found nowhere else on the planet. Nearly 38% of Tanzania's land is protected, an unparalleled commitment to conservation, where wilderness is not merely preserved, but deliberately defended for generations yet to come. From the vast Selous Game Reserve, the largest in Africa, to the ancient volcanic cradle of Ngorongoro, these landscapes stand as living testaments to a long-term vision of coexistence. Yet the true richness of Tanzania cannot be measured in numbers alone. It exists in the delicate balance between predator and prey, in the invisible threads that bind every species into a single, fragile harmony. Tanzania remains one of nature's greatest gifts, a place where wildlife still rules, where landscapes breathe with life, and where the wild endures as it always has. As the sun scorches the sun-drenched grasslands of the Serengeti, the dry season in Tanzania reveals its full weight and unforgiving presence. Vegetation fades, trees shed their leaves in scattered patches, and rivers slowly retreat, exposing a harsh yet precise natural cycle shaped by heat and time. The ground fractures beneath the relentless sun, and streams that once brimmed with water leave behind quiet, shallow pools, drying yet still holding just enough to carry a fragile thread of hope. This is not a season of decline, but a relentless test of resilience, where every creature must endure one day at a time. As the dry season sweeps across the Serengeti, the green grasslands vanish, replaced by deep reds and sun-split cracks stretching across the land. Surrounded by Serengeti National Park, the Ngorongoro Conservation Area, and Maswa Game Reserve, this region becomes the ecological command center of Tanzania. Spanning more than 14,700 square kilometers and rising from elevations of 920 to nearly 1,850 meters, the Serengeti reveals the raw strength and unfiltered harshness of nature. From May to October, the dry season reshapes the entire landscape with depletion and silence, as the Grumeti and Mara rivers shrink into narrow ribbons of water, weaving fragile lifelines through the parched earth. Over the past 50 years, rainfall in this region has declined by nearly 10%, adding further strain to an already stressed ecosystem. Temperatures can soar beyond 50 degrees Celsius, turning the ground into a blistering surface, where every step becomes a test of endurance and instinct. The dry season slows the rhythm of life, but beneath the stillness lies a constant struggle between survival and surrender. Herds of wildebeest and zebra travel hundreds of kilometers in search of water and fresh grass, leaving behind a trail of resilience etched into the dust. Lions, the apex predators of this land, must cover up to 20 kilometers a day to sustain their ability to hunt amid dwindling resources. Every river, every patch of shrubland, and every gap between the Kopier rock formations forms a vital link in this finely tuned ecosystem. Hyenas and cheetahs help regulate prey populations, preventing overgrazing and preserving balance and long-term sustainability. Scavengers such as vultures serve as nature's final custodians, clearing the land and ensuring the environment remains healthy and free of disease. No creature is expendable in the Serengeti, for every life holds purpose and contributes to the delicate balance of this extraordinary system. Beneath the canopy of towering acacia trees, rising like natural domes above the plains, giraffe herds stretch upward, reaching heights of nearly 6 meters as they feed on leaves few others can access. The northern giraffe, an enduring symbol of Tanzania, stands across the savanna like living pillars, bridging sky and earth. More than 7 million years ago, the ancestors of giraffes began a distinct evolutionary path. Their long necks formed not by additional vertebrae, but by the remarkable elongation of each one. The ability to reach food beyond the grasp of others granted them a lasting advantage, securing their place in the struggle for survival. As the dry season stretches on, the land grows bare and water becomes scarce, turning the acacia tree into a vital lifeline across the savanna. The northern giraffe can consume more than 34 kilograms of leaves each day, aided by a tongue nearly 45 centimeters long, thick-skinned and flexible enough to withstand the acacia's sharp thorns. More than a tool for reaching lofty branches, this remarkable tongue is a key adaptation, allowing the giraffe to thrive where others cannot. As time moves forward and humanity continues to reshape the world, the northern giraffe remains a living emblem of resilience in a changing natural landscape. They stand as quiet reminders of endurance, adaptation, and inner strength, lessons carried not only across the savanna, but into the human world as well. With these towering lifelines in place, the Serengeti continues to tell a silent story of a wild kingdom where every breath carries weight and meaning. Under the harsh sunlight of the dry season, where each brittle blade of grass rises from cracked earth, warthogs continue their steady march across the plains. With sturdy bodies, thick skin, and upward curving tusks like primitive tools, they embody survival through adaptation in the searing heat of the savanna. In a land where water and shade are rare luxuries, warthogs endure as true masters of resilience. Over millions of years, they have evolved for a life of constant movement and relentless digging across Africa's grasslands. Their snouts, powerful yet sensitive, allow them to forage for food and burrow deep into hardened soil in search of hidden moisture. Tusks, reaching up to 25 centimeters in length, serve not only to break ground, but also as formidable defenses against predators. When streams vanish and the earth turns to stone, warthogs do not retreat. They dig with persistence, uncovering roots and water-storing tubers buried beneath the surface. The shallow pits they leave behind do more than sustain them alone, offering temporary water sources to other creatures, from birds to antelope. For this reason, warthogs are often known as the silent soil renovators of the savanna. Though their appearance may seem rugged and unrefined, warthogs live within a clear social structure, forming small groups known as sounders, moving together in search of food. They support one another in moments of danger, proving that even in the harshest landscapes, survival is often a shared effort. When escape becomes necessary, they can run at speeds of up to 48 kilometers per hour, their tails raised upright like small warning flags, signaling danger to the herd as they flee across the open ground. Yet when cornered, their powerful front legs can deliver a surprisingly effective defense, strong enough to challenge even a lion or a leopard in a moment of desperation. Within the biological rhythm of the savanna, warthogs play a quiet but essential role as cultivators of the land. Each time they dig, the hardened soil is softened, preparing the ground for new plants to emerge when the rains finally return. Seeds carried through their diet are spread across the plains through their droppings, breathing renewed life into the vegetation. The burrows they carve for survival often become the first footholds for fresh growth, offering shelter and opportunity to countless other species. Among them is the impala, a swift and agile grazer with a slender frame, legs coiled with spring-loaded energy, and eyes that scan the landscape with constant alertness, moving through a world where danger hides in every shadow. It does not merely survive. It moves as if it is dancing, gliding across the plains with speed, balance, and absolute control. To endure in this unforgiving land, the impala relies on more than instinct alone. In moments of life or death, it can reach speeds of up to 96 kilometers per hour, pushing its body to the limits of endurance. But speed alone is never enough against expert hunters. A single leap can carry the impala more than 10 meters forward and up to 3 meters high, a sudden burst of motion designed to confuse, evade, and escape its pursuers. More than an athlete, the impala is a specialist in survival. It favors open grasslands broken by scattered shrubs, landscapes wide enough for rapid escape, yet shaded enough to offer brief relief from the sun. The dry season is the harshest trial of the year. As grasses wither and vanish, the impala adapts, shifting its diet to leaves and twigs, a rare flexibility among grazers that allows it to endure when others cannot. Its most powerful defense, however, is unity. Herds can swell to nearly 100 individuals, forming a living network of vigilance where many eyes detect danger long before it strikes. Within these groups, a strict social order prevails, with dominant males defending territories during the breeding season. Their clashes are more than rivalry. They are nature's method of preserving strength, ensuring that only the strongest genes pass into the next generation. Yet the life of the impala is not defined by motion alone. It is a vital link within the Serengeti ecosystem. As a primary prey species for lions, cheetahs, and leopards, the impala helps maintain balance across the food chain. At the same time, it spreads seeds through its droppings, quietly aiding the renewal of the savanna after each relentless dry season. As the dry season tightens its grip on the Serengeti and scorching winds sweep across fields of withered grass, a new presence emerges. The cheetah appears as a silent silhouette along the edge of the sun, drifting through the heat without a sound. From its careful steps to its focused, unblinking gaze, reflects the precision of a hunter born for speed. Only when it explodes forward like a bolt of lightning, scattering dust and grass into the air, does its true nature reveal itself. Unlike other great cats, the cheetah does not rely on brute strength. It survives by speed, timing, and flawless execution, a specialist shaped by the unforgiving demands of the open plains. There is no need for the thunderous power of lions nor the silent brute strength of leopards. For the cheetah, speed is everything. It is a refined evolutionary gift, shaped by millions of years of natural selection. To achieve it, the cheetah has traded weight and raw power for lightness and efficiency. Weighing little more than 57 kilograms, its body is finely tuned for acceleration. A flexible spine bends and coils like a compressed spring, allowing each stride to stretch as far as 7.5 meters in a single bound. Its long muscular tail acts as a rudder, stabilizing sharp turns and maintaining balance at extreme speeds. During the dry season, every decision becomes critical. Energy is precious, and nothing can be wasted. With vision extending over 5 kilometers, the cheetah scans the plains from afar, identifying prey early and avoiding unnecessary pursuits. Gazelles, impalas, and young wildebeest become its primary targets, animals that demand not only speed, but flawless timing. Before the chase, there is patience. The cheetah waits in silence, concealed among low bushes or behind gentle rises in the land, closing the distance inch by inch. Every shadow, every contour, every fold of the terrain is used to remain unseen. Only when the distance is right, often within just 18 meters, does the cheetah release its final weapon. In less than 3 seconds, it accelerates to breathtaking speed, reaching up to 113 kilometers per hour, faster than any other land animal on Earth. All of its energy is poured into a brief, explosive burst, covering only a few hundred meters. Its body stays low, legs striking the ground in rapid rhythm, eyes locked onto the prey, reading every turn before it happens. As it closes in, the cheetah reaches forward with its forelimbs, tripping the prey before delivering a precise bite to the neck, gently cutting off blood flow to the brain. The chase ends without sound. There is little time to celebrate. Exhausted and vulnerable, the cheetah must feed quickly or drag its kill to safety. Rivals are never far away. Leopards and other predators can appear at any moment, ready to steal the reward of its effort. As the dry season tightens its grip on the Serengeti, ancient granite outcrops rise from the plains like silent monuments of time. These kopjes are the realm of another master hunter, the leopard. Marked by patience and near-perfect precision, its spotted coat mirrors the broken shadows cast by stone and sun. This camouflage is no accident. It is the result of millions of years of adaptation, a design perfected for ambush. The leopard does not merely blend into the landscape, it dominates it. Every rock, every ridge, every elevated perch becomes part of its strategy. Its evolutionary history stretches back more than 2 million years, shaped by survival across some of the harshest environments on Earth. That versatility has made the leopard one of the most widespread big cats alive. Here in the Serengeti, it becomes an artisan of silence. From the kopjes, it watches the plains with a cold, focused gaze, every movement of prey carefully measured. The dry season transforms the grasslands into a land of thirst and scarcity. Shade is rare, mercy even rarer. In this harsh reality, the kopjes offer both refuge and battleground. The leopard melts into the stone, motionless, invisible, waiting. With climbing skills that seem effortless, it ascends to high vantage points, securing a visual advantage over everything below. Impala, warthog, even baboon. Any prey that fits the moment becomes a potential target. Every movement is deliberate. Nothing is wasted. And when the strike comes, it always emerges from the blind spot. Sudden, precise, and final. When the moment draws near, the leopard emerges from the shadows. Each step is soundless, weightless, as if the earth itself does not feel its presence. It closes the distance to within 6 to 9 meters, and then, without warning, it explodes forward. Powerful jaws clamp onto the neck, cutting off blood flow to the brain. The outcome is swift, almost instantaneous. With a success rate of around 40%, the leopard ranks among the most efficient hunters in a world where failure is far more common than victory. After the hunt, strength gives way to strategy. The leopard drags its catch upward, hauling it into the branches of a tree. Weighing between 40 and 68 kilograms, it can lift prey heavier than itself, suspending it high above the ground. This is not excess, it is necessity, a way to protect its hard-earned meal from stronger scavengers, especially lions, whose presence is never far away. In the blistering heat of the Serengeti dry season, as dust swirls and scorched grass crackles beneath the wind, another figure steps forward, the lion. There is no crown upon its head, yet it rules the plains, not through strength alone, but through strategy, coordination, and unity. When water dwindles and prey becomes scarce, every hunt turns into a calculated collaboration. Each movement must align, each role must be fulfilled. The margin between survival and loss narrows to a single mistake. Over 1.5 million years of evolution have shaped the lion into one of the most organized hunters on Earth. Unlike most big cats, which live and hunt alone, lions have evolved a pride-based society, a social structure that amplifies their power. Each pride typically consists of 5 to more than 10 individuals, with lionesses forming the core of the hunting force. Their success depends on coordination, positioning, timing, especially during the dry season when conditions demand absolute precision. When facing prey head-on, the lion unleashes its full physical force. Weighing between 150 and 250 kilograms, it can bring down large animals with a single, decisive pounce and a crushing bite to the neck. Yet even after a successful hunt, danger does not fade. Hyenas linger at the edges, watching, waiting for an opening. The lions must eat quickly, defend their kill, and protect their pride, all at once. Lions are more than hunters. They are regulators of the Serengeti. By controlling herbivore populations, they prevent overgrazing and protect the fragile balance of plant life. What remains of their meals sustains scavengers like vultures and jackals, completing the nutrient cycle of the grasslands. Under the harsh sun of the dry season, herds of African buffalo move slowly across the plains, massive, silent, like living fortresses. Weighing between 450 and 900 kilograms, their bodies radiate endurance and raw resilience. But their true power lies not only in muscle, it lies in strategy refined over millions of years. When water is scarce and predators stalk every movement, the African buffalo does not simply endure. It reshapes the ecosystem around it. The greatest strength of the buffalo is not found in the individual. It is found in the herd. Groups range from a few dozen to several hundred, bound together by an unbreakable unity. A living wall of horns and muscle, a defense so formidable that even the most skilled predators hesitate before testing it. During the dry season, buffalo herds are drawn toward the few remaining waterholes. These places become pressure points of survival, where the line between life and loss can be decided in minutes. Lions, the apex hunters of the Serengeti, understand this pattern well. They linger near these shrinking lifelines, hidden in tall grass and shadow, waiting for the herd to fragment or for a single moment of weakness to appear.
Or becomes scattered.
African buffalo is no easy target. At the first sign of danger, the herd transforms.
At the first sign of threat,
individuals shift position, speed and purpose, forming a defensive ring. Mature adults move outward, horns angled toward the threat, shielding calves and weaker members within. What emerges is not chaos, but
This
structure.
structure acts
An
as an
instinctive
instinctive
fortress,
fortress
where every position
has purpose. Still, even the strongest
herds face moments of peril. Encounters between lions and buffalo unfold in silence, tension stretched tight like a drawn bow. The lions do not rush. They wait, they watch, they calculate. Yet only about 30% of these hunts succeed. The buffalo response is often fierce and coordinated. A single charge from a mature bull can injure or even knock down an inexperienced lion. In these confrontations, power alone is never enough. Though they are herbivores, African buffalo play an irreplaceable role in the Serengeti ecosystem. Their grazing helps regulate grass density, preventing overgrowth that would threaten biodiversity. Their dung enriches the soil, supporting plant recovery after the rains. And even in death, their bodies sustain scavengers such as vultures and hyenas, completing the savanna's cycle of renewal. As the Tarengaya River begins to recede beneath the relentless dry season sun, the land is laid bare. Cracked earth, dust-coated plains. This region, stretching across thousands of square kilometers of semi-arid ecosystem, becomes defined by a single remaining flow. The Tarengaya River turns into a lifeline, a final anchor for wildlife during the harshest months of the year. But the dry season is more than a gathering. It is a trial. As the river thins into narrow strands of water, tension between species begins to rise. Predators are forced to expand their territories, ranging far beyond familiar ground in search of prey. Migrating herds push farther north, driven by thirst and necessity. It is a journey with no margin for error. Under the intense sun of the Tarengire dry season, the remaining water holes become more than a refuge for hippos. They become lifelines for dozens of species. Here, the role of the hippopotamus rises beyond that of a survivor. They help sustain the final pulse of the aquatic ecosystem, where every drop carries the weight of life. Roughly 55 million years ago, the ancestors of the hippo shared a lineage with whales, emerging from an ancient group of semi-aquatic mammals. Over time, they evolved into one of the largest land mammals on Earth. Yet their bond with water never faded. Their thick but sensitive skin demands constant immersion to prevent dehydration and regulate body temperature. Closable ears and nostrils allow them to submerge for extended periods, an evolutionary inheritance from their semi-aquatic past. The dry season pushes these adaptations to their absolute limits. As water holes shrink, hippos maintain a strict social order. Space becomes precious, tension rises, and survival depends not only on strength, but on balance within the crowd. A typical hippo group consists of 10 to 30 individuals, led by a dominant male who fiercely defends the shared waters for females and young. As temperatures rise, they press close together in the shallows, their massive bodies churning the mud, creating shade and trapping precious moisture, not only for themselves, but for countless other creatures that depend on the same shrinking refuge. They leave the safety of the water and move silently across the land in search of grass, traveling up to 5 kilometers in a single night. an adult hippo can consume up to 36 kilograms of grass during these nocturnal foraging journeys, forging a vital connection between land and water. Yet the hippo's role in the ecosystem extends far beyond what it consumes. Its waste, rich in organic nutrients, becomes a primary lifeline for algae and aquatic plants, especially during prolonged droughts. Despite their calm appearance, hippos are far from harmless. With a bite force nearing 13,800 newtons per square centimeter, their jaws rank among the most powerful in the natural world. When threatened, they can surge from the water at speeds exceeding 32 kilometers per hour, a display of force even apex predators instinctively respect. During the dry season, Tarangire transforms into a vast gathering ground as thousands of animals from distant regions converge on its remaining water sources. Herds of savanna elephants move across the parched land with quiet majesty, each step pressed into the sun-scorched earth like a signature etched into the cycle of life. Their sheer presence forms a breathtaking spectacle and underscores the vital importance of this land. Here, every drop of water, every patch of shade, and every movement is tightly bound to the survival of all wildlife. Around 7 million years ago, the ancestors of savanna elephants began diverging from their forest-dwelling relatives, adapting to life on the open grasslands. Over countless generations, they evolved into giants, weighing up to 6,000 kilograms. Their vast ears function as natural cooling systems, while an extraordinary memory allows them to recall ancient migration routes, hidden water sources, and inherited knowledge passed down through the herd. In Tarangire, where every remaining trickle of water has become more precious than ever, the elephant's intelligence and unity form the foundation of life for the entire ecosystem. Guided by a matriarch, the oldest and most experienced female, the herd travels dozens of kilometers each day across unforgiving terrain in search of water and food. When the Tarangire River recedes into dry sand, they use their tusks to dig deep into the earth, opening small wells that draw water from below the surface. This hidden seepage sustains not only the elephants, but also zebras, wildebeest, and countless bird species. Their versatile trunks, capable of lifting up to 350 kilograms, draw water with careful precision, as if each drop carries the weight of survival itself. Each day, an adult savanna elephant consumes around 136 kilograms of vegetation, from grasses and leaves to bark. As they feed, move, and disperse their waste across the land, they scatter seeds encased in nutrient-rich dung. When the rains finally return, these seeds take root, restoring the vegetation where the elephants once roamed. More than the largest grazers on the savanna, they are silent gardeners, sustaining life throughout Tarangire. Under the searing sun of the Tarangire dry season, even the kings of the savanna begin to lose their strength. Stretched across the branches of towering trees, lions lie motionless, their piercing eyes sweeping the ground below, where life continues in an endless pursuit between hunger and the instinct to survive. Tree climbing, a rare behavior among lions, is more than a moment of rest. It is a testament to adaptability, a quiet mark of evolution shaped by necessity. In places like Tarangire and Lake Manyara, where temperatures can soar beyond 49 degrees Celsius, climbing acacia and baobab trees becomes a means of escape from the relentless heat and the biting insects that thrive below. From these elevated vantage points, lions observe the surrounding grasslands, scanning for prey and potential threats from a distance, conserving energy while maintaining control over their domain. When the Serengeti River is reduced to dry sand, massive tree trunks transform into natural sanctuaries. Using powerful claws and immense muscular strength, lions climb to heights of up to 6 meters, finding refuge from the scorching ground below. For adult males weighing nearly 190 kilograms, this behavior reflects not only remarkable physical flexibility, but also refined instincts shaped by survival. As the dry season draws countless animals toward the last remaining water sources, the image of tree-climbing lions resting silently above has become a symbol of deep-rooted adaptation. From the shelter of the branches, their gaze falls upon the movement below, upon creatures still searching for shade, for water, for a chance to endure another day. Under the unforgiving sun, when every drop of water becomes as precious as gold, herds of savanna elephants move steadily across the cracked and parched earth. Even these giants are not beyond the attention of hungry lions, predators constantly probing for opportunity in a land stripped of abundance. Encounters between elephants and lions are clashes between intelligence and predatory instinct. Over millions of years, elephants have evolved a brain weighing nearly 5 kilograms, the largest of any land animal, granting them extraordinary memory and awareness. They recognize danger, recall the sites of past ambushes, and respond with calculated precision. Led by the matriarch, the oldest and most experienced female, the herd moves as a single coordinated force, unified with the efficiency of a living survival machine. As the dry season drags on and food and water grow scarce, lions may attempt the most dangerous of hunts, targeting young elephants. Success is rare, with rates seldom exceeding 15%. In these moments, even male lions, typically absent from the hunt, will join the lionesses, executing a strategy built on separation and pressure. They converge from multiple directions, focusing on isolated calves or weakened individuals, striking with speed and combined force. But savanna elephants are not easily overwhelmed. At the first sign of danger, the herd gathers swiftly into a defensive formation. Mature elephants with long tusks take position along the outer perimeter, forming an unbreakable barrier around the calves, sheltered at the center. Each thrust of a tusk, each powerful kick, carries the force to inflict serious injury, even to bring down the boldest predators. Yet strength alone is not their only defense. Elephants communicate through sound and movement, coordinating their response with remarkable clarity. Trumpeting calls echo across the plains, warning not only the herd, but other species nearby. A sharp swing of the trunk, a thunderous stomp against the earth. Each gesture delivers an unmistakable message of danger. Their intelligence reveals itself further in their ability to remember ancient routes and hidden water sources, knowledge passed down through generations, guiding them through the harshest trials of the dry season. During the dry season, the matriarch leads the herd through safer corridors, deliberately avoiding landscapes marked by past lion ambushes. These memories, passed down through generations, are more than mental maps. They are quiet weapons in an unforgiving struggle for survival. Tarangire is home not only to giants of the savanna, but also to more than 550 species of birds. Among them stands the world's largest bird, the Maasai ostrich. Reaching heights of up to 2.7 meters and weighing around 135 kilograms, It moves across the plains like a survival machine, finely tuned by millions of years of evolution. Around 40 million years ago, the ancestors of ostriches began their transition into dry, open landscapes. Unlike most birds, they abandoned flight in favor of speed and raw power on land. Their long, muscular legs propel them to speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour, fast enough to outrun many of Africa's top predators. These legs are not built solely for escape. They can deliver devastating kicks, capable of inflicting serious injury when threatened. In Tarangire, where the dry season strips the land to its limits, the Maasai ostrich reveals extraordinary adaptability. It can digest tough, withered plants ignored by most animals, allowing it to survive where green life has nearly vanished. Its digestive system processes hard seeds, dry leaves, twigs, and even small stones, which help grind food within the stomach. For weeks at a time, the ostrich can survive without drinking water directly, extracting moisture from its food and relying on metabolic water produced during digestion. The eyes of the Maasai ostrich measure up to 5 centimeters in diameter, the largest of any living bird. With wide, highly sensitive vision, it can detect danger from hundreds of meters away. At the first sign of threat, sharp alarm calls ripple across the savanna before the birds explode into motion, vanishing in long, powerful strides. Breeding season reveals one of the ostrich's most distinctive social behaviors. Their nests are simple scrapes in the ground, lined with dry grass and feathers. Each nest may contain 10 to 15 eggs, each weighing more than 1 kilogram and protected by thick shells designed to endure intense heat and deter predators. At night, the male incubates the eggs, his dark plumage blending seamlessly into the shadows. By day, the female takes over, her lighter feathers merging with the sunlit grasslands. This shared responsibility is more than cooperation. It is a perfectly evolved camouflage strategy, safeguarding new life in an exposed world. Maasai ostriches also play a quiet but vital role in the savanna's biological cycle. They disperse seeds through nutrient-rich droppings. When the rains finally return, these seeds germinate, restoring vegetation to lands hardened by months of drought. In the dim light of early morning in Tarangire, where rare wetlands reflect the first rays of the sun, a slender figure moves like a shadow across the landscape. This is the Sitatunga. In a land where water is scarce and survival demands precision, this antelope has mastered the art of concealment. Every step it takes on soft ground is measured and deliberate, shaped by millions of years of slow, specialized evolution. As a member of the Bovidae family, the Sitatunga evolved highly specialized traits to thrive in wetland environments. Its long, widely splayed hooves distribute weight evenly, allowing it to move without sinking, gliding across mud and shallow water as if walking on the surface itself. Weighing between 45 and 115 kilograms, their bodies strike a rare balance between stability and agility, a crucial advantage in semi-aquatic environments, where land and water constantly overlap. Yet this very specialization also brings vulnerability when the environment begins to change. During the dry season in Tarangire, water levels drop dramatically, shrinking their natural range and compressing life into smaller, more dangerous spaces. As predators such as lions, leopards, and hyenas expand their territories in search of prey, the wetlands become the Sitatunga's last refuge, the only place where their unique biological traits still provide a decisive edge for survival. Their large ears, finely attuned to sound, combined with vigilant eyesight, allow Sitatungas to detect danger from great distances, even while concealed within flooded grasses. When threatened, their instinct is not to flee in panic, but to retreat silently into the water, lowering the entire body beneath the surface, leaving only the nostrils exposed for breath. In this moment, they nearly vanish from sight, an evolved form of biological camouflage few savanna mammals can rival. Their ability to swim is not merely a defensive tactic, but a gateway to food sources beyond the reach of most grazers. They feed on aquatic plants such as swamp grasses, roots, and floating leaves, resources often ignored by other herbivores. A complex digestive system enables them to extract nutrients from tough fibrous material, ensuring a steady supply of energy throughout the harshest stretch of the dry season. If the ostrich is the largest bird on Earth, then the Kori bustard is the heaviest bird still capable of flight. Weighing up to 18 kilograms, with a wingspan that can exceed 2.7 meters, it moves across the dry grasslands like a living silhouette of evolutionary strength. The evolutionary history of the Kori bustard stretches back millions of years, tracing its lineage to ancient birds that chose life on the ground over dominance in the skies. That biological decision granted them great size, but demanded structural adaptation and efficient use of energy. Their long, powerful legs are built to carry weight and endure distance, allowing them to roam the savanna with minimal reliance on flight. For the Kori bustard, taking to the air is a final option, as each liftoff requires enormous energy for a bird of such mass. In Tarangire, as the dry season turns soil to dust and water into a scarce resource, the Kori bustard reveals a remarkably flexible survival strategy. It feeds primarily on large insects such as grasshoppers and beetles, and occasionally captures small lizards or juvenile snakes. With slow, deliberate steps, it disturbs the brittle grass, flushing prey from hidden cover. At precisely the right moment, its beak strikes with sudden speed, executing a clean and efficient hunt without urgency. Despite its imposing size, the Kori bustard is not immune to predators such as lions, leopards, or spotted hyenas. Its primary defense is stillness. By freezing in place and relying on plumage patterned in browns, grays, and whites, it blends seamlessly into the scorched landscape. If danger closes in, it may respond with a powerful kick from muscular legs, or erupt into flight with a forceful burst of wing beats, strong enough to deter mid-sized predators. Within the Tarangire ecosystem, the role of the Kori bustard extends far beyond its own survival. It helps regulate populations of insects and small reptiles, contributing to balance within the food web during the dry season. Through digestion and waste, it also disperses seeds from grasses and shrubs, aiding vegetation recovery when the rains finally return. Each measured step it takes across the savanna is not merely an act of endurance, but the quiet movement of a living ecosystem at work. In the dim, early light of morning in Tarangire, the echoing calls of the southern ground hornbill break the silence, rolling across dry grasslands and low scrub like a distant drumbeat. Unlike most hornbills that live high in the trees, this species spends its life on the ground, where long, powerful legs, reaching nearly half a meter in length, carry it steadily across the rugged terrain shaped by the dry season. The southern ground hornbill hunts with patience and precision, using its thick, powerful black beak to flip dry leaves, loose stones, and soft soil in a quiet search for movement beneath the surface. Its diet is diverse, consisting of large insects, small reptiles such as snakes and lizards, and at times, even small rodents. The hunt is silent, and each strike of the beak is deliberate, calculated, and final. In these moments, the beak becomes a perfect biological instrument, combining raw strength with rapid reflexes to deliver swift blows that subdue prey instantly. Little evidence remains behind, as the act of hunting leaves only faint disturbance, like a careful engraving carved into the rough skin of the savanna. Unlike many solitary birds of prey, the southern ground hornbill lives within a complex social structure, forming small groups of 3 to 8 individuals, with only one breeding pair while the others serve as helpers and guardians. This cooperative life increases hunting efficiency, defends vast territories, and dramatically improves the survival of their young, a critical advantage for a species whose breeding cycles may pause for several years at a time. Each member has a role, from standing guard to foraging, from defending boundaries to tending the nest, forming a tightly bound social unit that allows the species to endure the undurging climate of Tarangire. The hornbill's most distinctive feature is its voice, a deep, low-pitched call that ranks among the farthest carrying sounds of any land bird. Lasting 4 to 5 seconds, the call can travel more than 3 kilometers depending on wind and humidity, defining territory, maintaining contact between group members, and signaling readiness to breed. When released from open ground or tall grass, the sound echoes between distant hills, forming an invisible acoustic map that marks the presence of the species across the landscape. After weeks beneath a relentless sun and across cracked, exhausted earth, the inhabitants of the wild begin to sense the first signs of change. The rains are coming. In Tanzania, the rainy season does not arrive suddenly, but enters quietly, like a conductor lifting a baton and gently awakening the ecosystem from dormancy. The first drops fall, soaking into hardened soil, and reviving vegetation across the Serengeti plains, the open woodlands of Tarangire, and the wetlands of Ruaha. The transformation is more than visual, serving as a powerful signal that restarts the great cycle of life. As migration resumes, breeding begins, plant cover regenerates, and animal populations recover. As seasonal rains spread across northern Tanzania, Lake Manyara slowly stirs, its surface shimmering as if newly polished by the sky above. Nestled within the Great Rift Valley around 120 kilometers from Arusha, the lake stretches outward like a vast mirror, reflecting a sky newly washed clean. Lake Manyara has an average surface area of around 230 square kilometers. But when the rains arrive in abundance, its waters can expand dramatically to nearly 330 square kilometers, while the shallow depth of roughly 3 meters increases just enough to allow dense aquatic vegetation to flourish. Along the lake's edges, flooded grasslands begin to form, creating a refuge for an extraordinary diversity of wildlife. And when seen from above, the landscape resembles a living painting, where lush green vegetation blends seamlessly with vast bands of pink flamingos, all reflecting the sun's shimmering light across the water's surface. These nutrient-rich waters do more than revive grasses. They reignite the rhythms of life for large mammals drawn to the lake's margins, where hippopotamuses rest beneath the surface like submerged fortresses, rising only occasionally to breathe or graze along the shoreline. This behavior plays a subtle but vital role in maintaining ecological balance, reducing competition among species, and shaping the structure of the ecosystem itself. During the rainy season, Lake Manyara transforms completely, awakening with the first showers as the landscape shifts like a moving canvas brought suddenly to life. From once still waters, millions of greater flamingos arrive, forming a vast pink carpet that stretches beyond the horizon, their calls echoing across the lake like a living symphony at the heart of the wild. The evolutionary journey of the greater flamingo spans millions of years, beginning in alkaline-rich marshlands where few other creatures could survive. And over time, these birds developed extraordinary adaptations that allow them to endure some of Africa's harshest environments. Their long legs, reaching up to 1.5 meters in height, combined with slender yet powerful bodies, enable them to move effortlessly through mud and shallow water, while their uniquely curved beaks, equipped with a specialized filtering system, allow them to feed on algae and plankton, rich in carotenoids, the pigments responsible for their iconic pink coloration. With the arrival of the rains, Lake Manyara becomes one of the largest gathering sites for flamingos in East Africa, as increased rainfall fuels explosive growth of algae rich in beta-carotene, their primary food source. Here the flamingos not only feed but also breed, completing a full ecological life cycle as they construct mud nests atop raised mounds that protect eggs and chicks from salty water and potential predators. Flocking behavior lies at the core of the greater flamingo's survival strategy, with mass groups sometimes numbering in the millions, reducing individual risk from predators such as African fish eagles. Within these immense flocks, constant vocal exchanges maintain cohesion, functioning like a synchronized dance that reinforces cooperation and collective awareness. Their feeding behavior reveals the remarkable refinement shaped by evolution, as heads dip beneath the surface and beaks filter algae and microscopic organisms from shallow, mineral-rich waters with extraordinary efficiency. This diet deepens their coloration over time, shifting from pale tones in young birds to vivid pinks in mature adults, with feather color serving not only as a sign of health, but also as a visual signal during the breeding season. Beyond their beauty, greater flamingos play a critical ecological role within Lake Manyara, helping regulate algae populations and maintain the delicate balance of alkaline waters. As they wade through the lake, their movements stir sediment layers, promoting gas exchange and improving habitat conditions for countless other species, reinforcing their role as both icons of the landscape and silent engineers of the ecosystem. In the dim light of dawn at Lake Manyara, raindrops clinging to blades of green grass mirror the pale, mist-laden sky above, creating a fragile stillness at the edge of daybreak. Moving gently through the serene landscape is the gray-crowned crane, a living symbol of elegance and resilience within the natural world of East Africa, its presence calm yet commanding. Its golden crown, shimmering like a royal headdress, draws the eye immediately, not merely as an ornament of beauty, but as the mark of an evolutionary journey refined over millions of years. As the rainy season floods the marshes surrounding the lake, an entire wetland ecosystem awakens, and it is during this time that the gray-crowned crane enters its most radiant phase, performing elaborate courtship dances across the lush green grass. Each spin, graceful bow of the head, and resonant call forms part of a rhythmic and expressive language, a ritual of communication shaped by instinct and time. Their voices can travel more than 3 kilometers, rising and carrying across the open savanna like an invisible thread that binds individuals together across vast distances. Within the fertile marshlands and grasslands surrounding Lake Manyara, the gray-crowned crane finds an abundant supply of food, moving slowly and deliberately in search of seeds, insects, grasses, and occasionally small animals. Its pointed beak allows it to gather nourishment from the ground or shallow water with precision, leaving the delicate balance of the environment largely undisturbed. Long, slender legs enable the crane to wade into deeper flooded areas, extending its reach and enhancing its ability to survive through shifting seasonal conditions. Far beyond the lake, the grasslands of the Serengeti now glow in vibrant green, signaling the official beginning of the Great Migration, as this living carpet of grass becomes the central stage for one of the most spectacular natural phenomena on Earth. Driven by replenished rivers such as the Mara and the Serengeti, vast herds begin their long journey across plains and waterways in search of water, food, and survival. The Great Migration stands as the largest terrestrial migration on the planet, a massive biological movement synchronized precisely with the rhythm of the rainy season. More than 1.5 million wildebeest, accompanied by around 300,000 zebras and 400,000 Grant's gazelles, travel together across distances exceeding 800 kilometers. Their journey loops from the Serengeti in Tanzania to the Masai Mara in Kenya, forming a continuous cycle of movement driven by breeding needs and access to fresh grazing grounds. Seen from above, the herds resemble a vast black river, flowing endlessly through the open grasslands. Early rains transformed the once parched Serengeti into a lush and energetic tapestry of green, and within just a few weeks, more than 80% of wildebeest calves are born, filling the plains with scenes of fragile new life. Millions of pounding hooves loosen the soil and leave behind nutrient-rich dung, laying the foundation for the regeneration of the entire ecosystem. Yet this journey is not defined by life alone, for it also marks the harshest moments of survival. As the herds enter the Masai Mara, every step carries the weight of danger, despite the promise of fresh grazing lands ahead. Predators are already in position, with lions watching patiently from a distance, ready to exploit exhaustion or a single misstep by a young or weakened wildebeest. Not every individual completes the journey, and those that fall become the foundation upon which the rest of the food chain depends. This sacrifice is not without purpose, but rather a vital element of ecological balance, providing nourishment for countless other species and sustaining the intricate machinery of the ecosystem. Each silent step of the migrating herd becomes a quiet contribution to the enduring cycle of life that defines this land. The Great Migration is not merely a natural event. It is the very heartbeat of the Serengeti, a living pulse that defines the rhythm of this ancient land. It symbolizes the circle of life itself, the quiet resilience of nature as it rises again after hardship. With each returning rainy season, the spectacle unfolds once more, carrying with it a new story of endurance and renewal. For those who witness it firsthand, the experience becomes unforgettable, a powerful reminder of how nature preserves balance and gives life in return. Amid the surging tide of the Great Migration, as millions of wildebeest, zebras, and Thompson's gazelles pour across the Serengeti plains, a different kind of predator emerges. African wild dogs appear like silent warriors, moving with purpose rather than brute force. They lack the sheer power of lions and the relentless persistence of hyenas, yet they embody something equally formidable: flawless strategy and unwavering teamwork. With a hunting success rate reaching up to 80%, they stand as living proof that collective intelligence can surpass individual strength. As one of Africa's oldest predators, African wild dogs have been shaped by millions of years of evolution into masters of pursuit. Unlike other members of the canine family, they possess only 4 toes on each foot, a unique adaptation that enhances both speed and endurance during prolonged chases. Their patchwork coats of black, yellow, and white do more than blend them into the savanna. Each pattern acts as a natural fingerprint, allowing individuals to recognize one another within the pack. A typical pack consists of 6 to 20 members, bound together in a tightly knit social unit, centered around a dominant breeding pair. Cooperation extends far beyond the hunt. It governs how pups are raised, how injuries are endured, and how threats are confronted together. This foundation of unity gives the pack remarkable resilience, allowing it to function efficiently across a wide range of conditions. The rainy season blankets the Serengeti with fresh life, but it also intensifies competition. Lions and hyenas force wild dog packs to remain constantly on the move, avoiding territories where dominance is already claimed. Even so, the open savanna becomes their arena, a vast canvas upon which they execute hunting strategies with precision that feels almost calculated. When prey is identified, often a Thompson's gazelle or a young zebra, the chase begins. The pack accelerates to speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour, spreading out, flanking, and rotating positions until exhaustion overtakes their target. The hunt unfolds like a carefully rehearsed maneuver, with each individual performing a specific role, adjusting instinctively to the movements of the others. After a successful kill, time becomes their greatest enemy. They have only minutes to feed before hyenas or lions arrive. Hyenas often appear in overwhelming numbers, relentlessly attempting to steal the meal, while lions pose an even greater threat, capable not only of claiming the kill, but of killing any wild dog that lingers too close. In this world, speed and agility are not advantages, they are necessities for survival. Within the Serengeti ecosystem, African wild dogs are more than hunters. They function as natural regulators, controlling populations of smaller herbivores and preventing overgrazing that could strip the land bare. Their presence forces prey species to remain mobile and alert, allowing grasslands time to recover and maintaining balance across the wider landscape. Yet, their story is not one of endless triumph. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, African wild dogs are now classified as endangered, with fewer than 6,000 individuals remaining worldwide. Habitat loss, diseases transmitted by domestic dogs, and the mounting pressures of climate change continue to push them closer to extinction. Still, their existence stands as a powerful testament to the strength of unity, the power of cooperation, and the resilience born from adaptation in the wild. During the dry season, the Mara River flows gently, a quiet ribbon cutting through the plains. But when the rains arrive, it transforms into an uncontrollable torrent. Tropical downpours force the water level to rise, creating powerful whirlpools capable of sweeping away anything caught in their path. Along the river's winding bends, floodwaters spill over the banks, turning soft, muddy ground into deadly traps. The lead animals plunge forward, risking everything to show the way. Yet not all will ever reach the far shore. Each year, Nile crocodiles claim an estimated 10,000 wildebeest in the Mara River region, stretching up to 5.5 meters in length and weighing nearly 700 kilograms. These ancient predators reign over the dark waters with quiet dominance. Their evolutionary lineage stretches back more than 200 million years, a design refined long before the age of mammals and virtually unchanged since the time of the dinosaurs. Thick, armored skin shields them against even the harshest conditions, while eyes and nostrils set high on their heads allow them to remain submerged as they monitor every movement above the surface. Along their jaws, highly sensitive pressure receptors detect the faintest vibrations in the water, ensuring that few victims escape their notice. Amid the chaos of river crossings, it is estimated that nearly 15% of wildebeest never reach the opposite bank. According to the Tanzania Wildlife Research Institute, the majority fall prey to Nile crocodiles. Their signature technique, known as the death roll, is among the most formidable feeding strategies in the natural world, as they seize their target and spin with brutal force, tearing flesh or cutting off air until the struggle ends. Yet Nile crocodiles are more than symbols of raw power. As apex predators, they play a critical role in regulating herbivore populations, preventing overgrazing, and helping to maintain water quality. The remains left behind sustain marabou storks, hyenas, and other scavengers, ensuring that no part of the kill is wasted. Their presence forces migrating herds to keep moving, distributing grazing pressure more evenly across the greater Mara Serengeti ecosystem. As tropical rains pour down in torrents, Ruaha National Park awakens, as if the skies themselves have breathed life back into this ancient wilderness. Located in central Tanzania, The park spans more than 20,000 square kilometers, making it the largest protected area in the country and one of Africa's most important ecological strongholds. Ruaha lies at the meeting point of two major ecosystems, East Africa and Southern Africa, creating a landscape defined by diversity and constant motion. At its heart flows the Great Ruaha River, swollen by seasonal rains and surging through the land like a vital artery. This river does more than provide water. It sustains hundreds of plant and animal species that depend on its rhythms to survive. During the rainy season, herds of wildebeest and zebras move into the region, drawn by freshly sprouted grasslands. Grants, gazelles, and impalas scatter across the plains, grazing while remaining alert to predators such as lions and cheetahs. In Ruaha, the rainy season paints a landscape of striking contrast. Life flourishes in every direction, yet danger presses in from all sides. The river grows fierce, sometimes blocking migration routes, sometimes becoming a lethal trap. Spotted hyenas exploit these conditions, using the chaos of rising waters to isolate and hunt the vulnerable, turning nature's abundance into opportunity. Across the vast expanse of Ruaha National Park, the eastern black rhinoceros emerges as a powerful symbol of enduring life. Its massive frame, thick armor-like skin, and horns stretching up to 100 centimeters long, reflecting the unwavering presence of a creature shaped by millions of years of evolution. Its survival stands as a reminder that even in the harshest corners of nature, true strength lies not only in power, but in the ability to adapt. This subspecies of black rhinoceros has endured Africa's arid landscapes through countless evolutionary challenges, carrying within its form the legacy of ancient ancestors defined by resilience, endurance, and an extraordinary will to survive. As of 2023, the global population of black rhinoceroses stands at just around 5,000 individuals, with the eastern black rhinoceros representing only a small fraction of that fragile total. Once widespread across eastern and southern Africa, these giants now persist in only a few scattered populations, with Ruaha National Park standing as one of their final remaining strongholds. Their distinctive upper lips curve like natural pincers, allowing them to grasp young shoots, strip leaves from branches, and even dig roots from hardened ground, an adaptation essential for survival in unforgiving environments. Through this feeding behavior, they play a vital ecological role by regulating vegetation growth, preventing the overexpansion of shrubs, and helping grasslands maintain balance. The trails carved through dense vegetation as they move not only open pathways for other animals, but also shape the structure of the landscape itself. Even in death, whether from old age or predation, their remains nourish vultures, marabou storks, and countless scavengers, ensuring that no energy is wasted within the ecosystem. As the rainy season transforms Ruaha National Park, awakening grasslands and woodlands alike, it also heralds the arrival of another towering presence, the giant eland, moving through the landscape as a living symbol of strength and quiet grace. Standing up to 2 meters at the shoulder and weighing close to 1,000 kilograms, it is the largest antelope species still walking the earth. Its spiraled horns, stretching nearly 120 centimeters, serve not only as formidable weapons of defense, but also as clear markers of maturity and status within the herd. The giant eland moves calmly through grasslands and low brush, foraging on fresh grasses, seasonal shoots, and fruits, a diverse diet that fuels its immense body and sustains it through the demands of life in the wild. Despite its enormous size, its steps are nearly soundless, a remarkable skill in a land where silence can mean the difference between safety and danger. When threatened, the giant eland can surge forward at speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour, outpacing predators such as lions and leopards in short, explosive bursts. Its spiraled horns become deadly defensive tools, capable of delivering powerful thrusts that force even experienced hunters to hesitate. Yet the future of the giant eland remains uncertain. According to a 2023 report from the International Union for Conservation of Nature, the species is currently listed as vulnerable, with global populations showing troubling signs of decline. In Ruaha, sustained conservation efforts, from anti-poaching patrols to community education programs, play a crucial role in safeguarding the continued presence of this remarkable antelope within one of Africa's last great wilderness strongholds. Across the sun-scorched grasslands of northern and central Serengeti, the dry season intensifies. As daytime temperatures rise, the clouds retreat and humidity plummets. In these harsh conditions, speed becomes more than an advantage. It becomes a lifeline. Hidden beneath the golden grasses, the cheetah, Earth's fastest predator, locks its amber eyes on a vulnerable target, a young Thompson's gazelle, momentarily separated from the herd and distracted in its search for food. The cheetah's social behavior is as unique as its hunting prowess. Females lead solitary lives, raising their cubs alone for nearly 2 years. Males, however, often form coalitions, tight-knit groups usually made up of brothers, though sometimes joined by unrelated companions. These coalitions offer crucial advantages: territorial dominance, greater mating opportunities, and shared defense against rival predators. In contrast, solitary males face lower survival odds, more easily outcompeted and left without support. Despite its unmatched speed, the cheetah faces strict limitations. A high-speed chase can last no more than 20 to 30 seconds before its body overheats, its heartbeat falters, and its temperature reaches critical levels. Every hunt is a gamble, a fleeting chance between success and collapse. Low to the ground, it moves like a phantom, gliding across the land in silence. The terrain becomes its ally, each dip and rise offering concealment. Two black tear marks stream down from its eyes, natural glare-reducing streaks that sharpen focus, just like the eye black worn by athletes. They help the predator judge distance and wind with deadly precision. The moment arrives, 60 meters to the target. In an instant, the cheetah launches forward like a drawn arrow, exploding from stillness to nearly 96 kilometers per hour in just 3 seconds. Then, it pushes even harder, reaching a staggering 110 to 120 kilometers per hour. It becomes a blur of motion, the fastest land animal on Earth in full flight. But catching the prey is only half the struggle. With the kill made, the cheetah must devour its prize swiftly. There's no time for rest. The scent of blood invites danger. Hyenas or lions could arrive at any moment. Built for speed, not combat, the cheetah is no match in a fight. In fact, it loses up to half of its hard-won kills, especially in the open plains of central Serengeti, where dry season dust hangs heavy in the air and hungry eyes lurk around every corner. Tall grasses, once a refuge for cheetahs to hide from enemies, grow to heights of 3 to 5 feet, forming a curtain that obstructs the predator's vision. For cheetahs, who rely heavily on their sharp eyesight rather than their sense of smell, this becomes a significant obstacle. Their movements grow more cautious as the tall grass not only conceals prey, but also serves as a hiding place for formidable enemies like lions and hyenas. Water fills the once dry riverbeds, and rivers like the Mara, along with smaller streams, come back to life, turning the savanna into a shimmering network of wetlands. However, this beauty brings risks. The muddy terrain makes every step more precarious. A cheetah's long legs and non-retractable claws, designed for a firm grip on dry ground, must now contend with slippery surfaces. A chase could end with a misstep, costing them a precious meal, or worse, their safety. Yet, amid these challenges, opportunities emerge. With the rebirth of nature, herds of herbivores migrate from all directions. Wildebeests and zebras travel miles to reach the lush grasslands, often bringing with them their newborns. A fleeting moment of opportunity for the cheetah in this delicate cycle of survival and renewal. Generations of young Thomson's gazelles, born on the wet grass, become ideal targets for cheetahs. Their hesitant movements provide the perfect opportunity for cheetah mothers to teach their cubs their first lessons in hunting. However, it's not an easy task. Lions and hyenas also gather near water sources, turning every hunt into a potential battle. The rain not only fills rivers, but also breathes life into countless plants. Acacia trees, with their lush green canopies, grow taller, offering temporary shelter during heavy downpours. Small shrubs flourish as well, creating a rich ecosystem teeming with water birds and insects. Meanwhile, a mother cheetah carrying new life within her embarks on a challenging journey. Over the course of 90 to 95 days, her survival depends not only on her hunting instincts, but also on her ability to evade larger predators. Lions, hyenas, and leopards are constantly on the lookout, ready to turn the vulnerable mother cheetah into prey. During this critical time, her energy needs increase significantly. She requires approximately 10 pounds of meat daily to provide adequate nutrition for her developing cubs. Her most common prey includes impalas and Thomson's gazelles. As the time for birth approaches, the mother cheetah carefully selects areas with grass 12 to 20 inches tall to hide. This preparation is essential to protect her fragile newborns in a world full of danger. In the arid savanna, where life and death are often separated by a single breath, a fragile being emerges. The cheetah cub, small and delicate, is cloaked in a mantle of silvery gray fur that resembles early morning mist. These cubs are not just symbols of a new beginning, but also reminders of the arduous journey ahead. Born into silence, a litter typically consists of 3 to 5 cubs, each weighing about 0.6 to 0.75 pounds. They are tiny and fragile, with closed eyes and legs too weak to stand. At birth, cheetah cubs are entirely dependent on their mother. They cannot defend themselves, cannot run, and cannot see the world. Every day of survival is a battle. The mantle of fur on a cheetah cub is vastly different from the coat of an adult. This silvery gray fur, extending from the head down the back, resembles a soft cape. It not only gives them a distinctive appearance, but also serves a vital role in camouflage. Some scientists believe this mantle makes cheetah cubs resemble honey badgers, fierce animals that many larger predators avoid. This mimicry could serve as a defense mechanism, deterring potential threats. Additionally, the mantle helps the cubs blend into tall grass or shrubs, making them harder to spot by predators like lions, hyenas, and leopards. Studies from 2023 indicate that the mantle reduces the risk of detection by predators by approximately 30% when cheetah cubs remain still in dense environments. Yet, even with this natural camouflage, survival rates remain grim. Approximately 70% of cheetah cubs do not survive past 3 months. In this unforgiving world, survival is not a guarantee, it is a privilege. Lions, the rulers of the savannah, never miss an opportunity to eliminate future competitors. Meanwhile, hyena packs constantly lurk, ready to steal a mother cheetah's kill, often leaving her cubs hungry. These aggressive predators may even view cheetah cubs as prey. The early days of a cheetah cub's life are fraught with danger. Unable to protect themselves or flee, they rely on their cries to call for help. The chirp of a cheetah cub, more akin to a bird's call than a cat's, echoes across the grasslands. This sound serves as a way for the cubs to communicate with their mother. The chirp can carry up to 500 feet, just far enough for the mother to hear without attracting the attention of predators. At 2 weeks old, a cheetah cub's eyes begin to open, greeting the harsh world for the first time. By 4 weeks, they take their first steps, their tiny legs wobbling on the grass. These steps are not just physical milestones, but critical lessons in survival. They stay close to their mother, observing her every move. She teaches them how to hide, listen, and wait. By 6 weeks, the cubs begin practicing their first hunting lessons. The mother brings back small prey, like hares or young Thompson's gazelles, still alive, allowing the cubs to learn through trial and error. Each missed pounce becomes a moment of growth. Even as they grow, cheetah cubs face physical limitations. Weighing only about 8 pounds at 3 months old, they remain easy targets for larger predators. Yet these perilous moments teach them to move quickly and silently through the grasslands, using their small size to avoid detection. Their legs grow stronger, allowing them to keep pace with their mother on longer journeys. Each day, they may travel 2 to 5 miles, a challenging trek that showcases their growing resilience.